this is my pitch to Canadians across the country, whether you live in Edmonton or not, to just come together for this and cheer for the Edmonton Oilers. I think Canada could use a win. I'm going to play a clip here from Jay Onright, and I think his name is Brian Hayes. And I just don't agree with what they're going to say, and then I'll get kind of more into the reasons why I think the country should just cheer for the Edmonton Oilers in this case, but let's play the clip now.
Cheer for the Oilers now, they say. I'm going to cheer for the Oilers now. That never happens. They never do it. They don't do it at all. In fact, when there's one lone Canadian team standing, people say they're going to cheer for them. It almost never happens. So
I guess I understand this, but I think given the fact that Canada has not won the Cup in 30 years, like maybe if they won 5 years ago, sure. It's been over 30 years. I really think the country could just use that morale boost of winning a Cup. Let's continue the clip.
My question for you is, where do you stand on all this, Brian Hayes?
This comes up every single spring. I swear it's from like non-sports media. You know, like I don't know who's creating this idea that people in Calgary are rooting for the Edmonton Oilers. That's not happening.
So first of all, I live in Calgary and I'm going to cheer for the Oilers. Sue me if you want. And the other thing he said about, is it people that are not in sports media that are creating this narrative? I think perhaps there's just a lot of people that are so into their team that you can't let it go. I would just recommend just let it go for like one series. It's not a big deal. You can immediately go back to cheering for your team after. I think it'd be way more fun if the majority of the country, Canada, actually cheered on the Oilers. Then we could like all celebrate winning that cup. That would be way better than just, no, I like the Montreal Canadiens. I'm never cheering for another team. I think that's being a little bit too into it, to be honest, when you can just go right back to cheering for the Canadiens or the Flames or whatever as soon as it's over. And I mean, I know people probably think that you're not being a diehard fan, you're not a loyal fan. I just would personally completely disagree with that take.
And people in Vancouver, you think people in Vancouver have turned around in like 72 hours and said, actually, now that I think about it, I really like those guys. They're great, and I'm totally rooting for them. Of course not.
But why of course not? Why be that serious about sports? They're supposed to be fun. Remember when Brady Tkachuk, who was the captain of another NHL team, was cheering on the Calgary Flames? He's the captain of the Ottawa Senators. He was cheering on his brother. He didn't just stay there and sit on his hands and be like, nope, if the Ottawa Senators are out, I don't want anything to do with this. He cheered for the best option available in his mind, which was his brother over the Dallas Stars.
What's the etiquette on the captain of the Ottawa Senators wearing a Calgary Flames t-shirt? I know his brother's on the t-shirt, but Brady Tkachuk has that Flames t-shirt on.
People in Toronto are well aware. Everyone hates the Leafs. No one's rooting for the Leafs if they're going for the Stanley Cup. Like, everyone's aware of that. So that's not happening. And I'm in the same position. I'm not sitting here rooting for the Edmonton Oilers. I find them compelling. It's certainly compelling when there's a Canadian team in there. And hate watching is a natural, I think, existence in sports.
So as I've said, I just don't understand the take. I would cheer for the Leafs if they're in the final. And I don't really know why you wouldn't. It just would be more fun. Canada gets to win a cup. They haven't won in 30 years, but I do think I am in the minority of this. Like, look at this poll here from a Twitter user named Ryan Pike, who's like a Flames media guy. Over 70% of people say they're cheering for the opposing team, the Panthers. And when I first saw this debate come up, whether Canadians are going to cheer for the Oilers or not, it reminded me of the Jerry Seinfeld joke about you're cheering for laundry.
Loyalty to any one sports team is pretty hard to justify. Because the players are always changing, the team can move to another city. You're actually rooting for the clothes when you get right down to it. You know what I mean? You are standing and cheering and yelling for your clothes to beat the clothes from another city. Fans will be so in love with a player, but if he goes to another team, they boo him. This is the same human being in a different shirt. They hate him now. Boo!
But this is going to be my case of why I think that Canada should just cheer for the Oilers. Even if you're a Flames fan, even if you're whatever, I think Canada could use a win. And I'm not going to make this video about politics. Canada, though, I think most people in Canada would agree, is going through a little bit of a rough moment in terms of our economy. A lot of people are complaining about the housing prices. A lot of people are complaining about gas prices. And especially lately, a lot of people are complaining about grocery prices. I think Canada could just use a win. I think the morale of the country is a little bit low right now, and I think a lot of it just has to do with affordability. And I know that winning the Stanley Cup isn't going to fix all that, but it'll feel nice. It'll be a good morale boost, something that we can all celebrate. And yeah, like I just really don't understand the reluctance to cheer for the Oilers. And the other thing about the Oilers, their captain and their best player, and by the way, the best player in the entire world is a Canadian named Connor McDavid. So, and to be fair, Brian Hayes, I think that's his name, in that clip with Jay Onright, was talking about he's not really cheering for the Oilers, but he's cheering for Connor McDavid. I mean, I'll take it, I guess. If people just want to cheer for the Oilers just for McDavid, as long as I think Canada is just cheering for the Oilers, I think that's better. And I hope that they win. And I think that'd be, like I said, a morale boost. And then, by the way, whether they win or whether they lose, the day after, you can go right back to cheering for your old team. You're not going to be like excluded from rejoining the Toronto Maple Leafs or the Calgary Flames fan base. So with that said, thank you for watching the video. Please, if you disagree, and let me know in the comments and let me know why. That would be fine to have like a fun debate about whether or not people should be cheering for the Oilers right now. But thanks for watching. Have a good day.